All right, we all fondly remember the Masters of the Universe movie from 1987. The movie had heroes, the movie had villains, it was in the very capable hands of Gary Goddard, and it was awesome. Well, since then, we have had many canceled He-Man movies. The property is currently with Sony, as far as a live-action movie. The live-action adaptation rights are with Sony. And while I was at Mattel as a brand manager for Masters of the Universe, I had the opportunity to have a lot of opportunities. Obviously, I worked with the Four Horsemen, and I was kind of the face of the brand at San Diego Comic-Con and things like that. But behind the scenes, I was also able to review a lot, if not all, of the MOTU scripts that came in. Management basically recognized that I knew at least something about the brand, and they were very generous about getting me copies of the scripts to read and even asking for my opinion on them, sometimes even writing out full reports. And I remember getting feedback. They were very surprised that my notes were very similar to the notes from the Mattel Entertainment Group. So because they were so similar, they were like, oh, we should include Scott more often. He definitely seems to know what he's doing when it comes to developing a He-Man movie, which I was very flattered by. And after I left Mattel, when the movie was still basically stuck in development hell, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a crack at writing this myself. So I wrote out the first 30 pages as an actual script, the whole nine, with character dialogue and scene descriptions and headers, etc. There's a very specific format to screenwriting. You can look it up in, there's books on it, or you can take a course in how to format a screenplay and how to storytell, if you will. And then what I did is I wrote the whole movie as a treatment, which is about an 8-page document. And the audience for this is studio executives who may know nothing about the property, but it's to explain the whole story without too much detail, but at least to give the arcs, the emotional connections of the characters. And I included with this a chart of character reference for all of the characters that were going to be in the film. Obviously, I'm not going to put every MOTU character ever, but I chose, some of the more important ones. And I also did a little visual of the different vehicles, as well as I wanted to make sure my story actually followed the map of Eternia. So I included kind of a map line, sort of like in Lord of the Rings, where you can follow the Fellowship. And I included some visuals about what the core story was about, how it was really about Adam, Man-at-Arms, and Teela, and the relationships between them. And then, of course, there's Adam's journey from going from Adam to He-Man, and Skeletor's journey, or Keldor's journey, going from ambition to madness. The whole movie was written in very traditional 3-act structure. See Empire Strikes Back or Back to the Future or Tootsie as examples. I was a graduate of UCSB Film Studies. Constant Penn there is one of my professors. And my emphasis was screenwriting when I was studying film. So I do know how to do this. And so that's what I'm going to read here. I'm going to read the treatment, which is aimed at movie executives, not necessarily fanboys. And my goal was to deliver what the industry calls a 4-quadrant film that was going to appeal to males, females, under 25, and over 25. So yes, there'd be some stuff for the fanboys, but I was trying to create a MOTU movie that was going to have the greatest broad appeal to mass audiences. So without further ado, the He-Man movie by Toy Guru. We open on planet Earth. Marlena Glenn is a hotshot test pilot working for the privately owned Nexus Industries. She is part of their secret project experimenting with black hole technology for interstellar travel. Having lost her parents at an early age in a typical 30s relationship slump, she eagerly joined Project Photog, taking on all the risks the job entails. During the test flight of the Rainbow Warrior, an artificial black hole is successfully created, and the ship travels through interstellar space via a wormhole. Mid-flight, a malfunction occurs, and the ship is accidentally thrown from the warp tunnel, spinning out of control and head towards a lush Earth-like planet on the far side of the galaxy. Crash landing in the middle of a giant battle between knights and savage beastmen, Marlena is the ship's only survivor. This world appears to be a medieval planet. if not for the robot Stridor horses and laser guns carried by the knights. Clearly not Earth. A dashing Prince Randor, 35, pulls Marlena from the exploding wreckage of her ship at the last minute. Randor fights off the savage Beastmen tribe with his heroic allies, Man-at-Arms, Aureus, pre-Mechanic, Ram-Man, and Stratos. Randor brings the wounded Marlena to the royal battle camp where she is magically healed by a mysterious woman in white, whom we will know as the Sorceress. Randor learns Marlena is from the mythical planet Earth, a name he knows from child nursery rhymes and stories. The love of Eternia and Earth together will open the gates of Grayskull. Realizing she has no way of returning to her home planet, and falling in love with the handsome young prince, Marlena joins his cause, fighting in a civil war against Randor's pathological racist half-brother Keldor. Blueskin Keldor, a Gar, is intent on releasing Eternia's ancient deadly enemy, the Horde, to help gain his rightful, quote-unquote, throne. Keldor is informed by henchman Beastman of Marlena's arrival from planet Earth. He sends his cronies Cronus, pre-Trapjaw, Evelyn, and Triclops to kidnap her. Keldor is convinced the ancient stories are true, and that Marlena, an alien from Earth, is the key to entering the forgotten Castle Grayskull and claiming the hidden mythical power that will release the evil Horde. Randor prepares to meet Keldor's army head-on at the foot of Castle Grayskull. Keldor attempts to use Marlena to magically enter the castle. His spell fizzles. Apparently she is not the key the stories spoke of. The heroes battle Keldor's forces in a spectacular fight involving vehicles and mighty accessories. The battle concludes with a one-on-one duel between half-brothers. Keldor's magic acid attack is spilled on his own face by a well-aimed crack shot from the newly freed Marlena. Scared and defeated, Keldor retreats to the Dark Hemisphere, fleeing towards Hordak's temple. With the help of the sorceress, Randor erects a mystic wall, keeping Keldor and his forces bound to the Dark Hemisphere. Randor embraces Marlena. Peace has been restored at last. Or so we think. 25 years later. Eternia is celebrating 25 years of peace and prosperity since Keldor's banishment. While King Randor and Queen Marlena prepare for a grand ball, their 22-year-old son, Prince Adam, takes his personal celebration to the local hotspots in Eterno City. As heir to the throne, he walks right into an exclusive club, flirts with the hottest women, and delights in all manner of food and drink. He's the Justin Bieber of Eternia, having little respect for the position he's in. Throughout the night, childhood friend Tila, 23, keeps a watchful eye on him. We recognize Tila's deep feelings for him by the way she gazes, but Prince Adam is way too caught up in his party boy lifestyle to ever notice. Adam ends his evening of indulgence by ripping the robo-driver out of his Royal Wind Raider, a flying boat car, and taking off for a joyride with his BFF Tila. They whiz recklessly through the city, knocking over street carts and causing chaos. Finally, Adam crashes into the statue of King Grayskull in the town square, knocking it into several buildings. A mysterious falcon lands and looks down in disappointment at the chaos below. Adam is brought to the royal throne room by Man-at-Arms. The prince stands before his father with a pompous attitude and little remorse. King Randor cannot believe it has come to this. Adam's sheer disrespect for his heritage, role, and royal responsibility leaves Randor feeling uncertain, powerless, and frightened about Eternia's future. This is what I fought for, he wonders. Adam thinks Randor is being too dramatic. After all, they do not see war in decades. At a loss and filled with disappointment and frustration, Randor orders Adam out of his sight. Adam escapes to his room reading holocomics. They visually project ancient epic battles between King Grayskull's Masters of the Universe and the Horde invaders, which desolated much of the planet in ancient times. Filled with narcissism and bravado, Adam jumps around, punching the air with his hands, declaring, "Hordak should come back, I'll take care of him, I'll show him who is the greatest in Eternia." Adam is jolted out of his momentary fantasy by a tap on the window. Tila, like many young women, is on a quest to change the bad boy. She offers up a joyride on a pair of sky sleds, flying jet skis. Rolling his eyes and seemingly bored, Adam replies that there's nowhere new to race. Tila declares, "Well, we've never raced on the Mystic Wall before." We are taken on a heart-pounding race along the restricted Mystic Wall, a 40-foot wall made of transparent red energy. Adam and Tila race head-to-head, carefully avoiding the spaced-out electro rods supplying power to the wall. Momentarily distracted by Tila's skirt blowing up from the wind, Adam collides with one of the electro rods, knocking out a 30-foot section of the energy wall and tumbling to the ground. Tila does a mid-air U-turn and runs to ensure her crush is not injured. Viewing the 30-foot gap in the wall, they are both intrigued. In yet another reckless decision, Adam decides this is a perfect opportunity to explore the forbidden Dark Hemisphere. Although at first it's fun and exciting, they soon fall into a bone trap and are captured and brought before the Lord of Snake Mountain, Skeletor, whose identity is completely concealed. For years, Skeletor has tried to breach the wall. With the gaping hole and Tila Adam as royal hostages, Skeletor is ready to march on the Light Hemisphere and seek his revenge. Feeling a grandiose sense of empowerment, Skeletor and crew bring Adam and Tila to the throne room of the royal palace, and he reveals himself to the king and queen. He is Randor's banished half-brother Keldor, now enhanced with black magic and more powerful than ever, and the victim of his own curse, bearing a skull for a face. He demands a trade. Adam and Tila for the king and queen. Sensing no other choice, the royal couple accepts the deal and is taken prisoner. Although fed up with Prince Adam's childish behavior, they secretly know Adam's life must be protected at all costs. They know something we don't. Feeling disempowered and helpless over the fate of his parents, Adam begins to psychologically and emotionally fall apart. Taking advantage of the situation, Evil Lynn magically changes into Adam's father and is held in chains by Beastman as a ruse. Disguised, she berates Adam for letting Skeletor through the wall and dooming all of Eternia. Pushed over the edge and overwhelmed with guilt, we witness Adam going momentarily mad and fleeing the palace, forcing himself into banishment and isolation as a self-inflicted punishment for his actions. Tila, along with that mysterious falcon perched up high, watches Adam leave. Tila runs off towards the royal stables. Meanwhile, Skeletor brings Randor and Marlena before Castle Grayskull, assuming that he needs both of them to complete the childhood nursery rhyme. The love of Eternia and Earth together will open the gates of Grayskull. After the gates fail to open once again, Skeletor realizes it is not the parents, but Adam he needs. He is the product of their love. It all makes sense now. Randor and Marlena are thrown into the deepest dungeon in Snake Mountain. King Hiss's basement, Skeletor calls it. Skeletor orders his forces to scour the planet and find the prince at any cost. The boy is the key to Castle Grayskull, and releasing the Horde, he must be found. Adam wanders through the sands of time, lost and without direction. Suddenly he's attacked by a large carnivorous manticore, large lion with horns and a dragon tail. Adam flees, but the beast outmatches his strength and speed. Just as he is about to get mauled, Man-at-Arms jumps in to protect the prince. Where did he come from? The sight of his mentor and royal trainer is a relief to Adam, as he watches Man-at-Arms literally punch the large feline in the face with his light-up gloves. Man-at-Arms tells Adam he was sent to bring him back to the palace. "How did you find me?" Adam asks. Man-at-Arms responds only coyly, "Let's just say a little birdie told me," referring to that mysterious falcon we keep seeing. Adam feels he won't be of any use. After all, his father cast him out personally. Man-at-Arms insists he needs Adam's help if his parents are to be rescued. This is a chance for Adam to break free from his childish responsibility. Just as Adam is about to argue, the old phrase, "Manticores never attack alone," proves true. 3 more beasts jump out. They make a run for Man-at-Arms Roton, a flying saucer with an open cockpit. As our heroes just manage to get inside and take off, one of the manticores jumps onto the saucer's hull. As the Roton soars through the sky, Man-at-Arms battles the Manticore while Adam pilots. We've never seen anything like this before. Man versus beast, fisticuffs on the hood of a flying Roton. In a brilliant move, Adam turns the Roton's gun backwards, blasting the Manticore off, but he hits the vehicle's engines as well. Heading north over the Sea of Rakash, Man-at-Arms attempts to pilot his now damaged craft to the nearest ally, Stratos, in the sky city of Avion. Just as they are getting close, the Roton is shot down by Adrenids, bee people, over the Mystic Mountains. Taken prisoner, Man-at-Arms and Adam are brought before Buzz-Off, Lord of the Bee-Men. Buzz-Off reveals his secret Master's Ring, the vintage toy decoder ring, to Man-at-Arms, who nods and shows his own matching ring. Adam never noticed Man-at-Arms had it, but recognizes the symbol from his holocomics. It is the secret symbol of the Defenders of Eternia, the Masters of the Universe. Buzz-Off whispers that the kingdom of Adrenos has fallen under Skeletor's control. We are all prisoners here. Trapjaw and an army of Skeletor's robot warriors have taken over in the search for Adam. All of the bee people are under martial law. Buzz-Off informs Adam and Man-at-Arms that after the palace was taken, members of the secret Masters of the Universe were contacted to meet in the valley below. If they can all rendezvous, perhaps there's a chance to save the king and queen and stop Skeletor. The Defenders of Eternia must unite again. Adam witnesses the destruction and abuse that Trapjaw has caused to the bee people. This is what all of Eternia would be like should Skeletor release the Horde. Moreover, Teela secretly followed Adam and has been captured by Trapjaw. Sensing the gravity of danger she is in and experiencing emotions he's never experienced for her, Adam springs into action. He shouts down from the tower, revealing himself as their prince. Adam incites a riot against Skeletor's forces, inspiring the bee people to stand up for themselves. While the bee warriors cause a distraction, Man-at-Arms battles Trapjaw and frees Teela. Man-at-Arms berates Teela for being reckless and coming after Adam alone, revealing to the audience for the first time that she is his daughter. Together with Adam, they escape down the side of the Mystic Mountain. The sheer cliff drops off thousands of feet, forcing the group to head through a series of underground tunnels. Inside the mountain, they find an ancient buried city covered in strange webbing. Teela, trying to prove herself to her father, and Adam, volunteers to scout ahead. Man-at-Arms and Adam take the inventory of their supplies. Man-at-Arms reviews the ridiculous number of weapons stored in his armor, almost in a humorous way, and cleans a blade while asking Adam about his intentions with Teela. At first, Adam tries to play coy, but the feelings are there and Adam can't lie to his mentor. Man-at-Arms may be close to Adam, but that doesn't mean he wants an irresponsible palace brat dating his daughter. When Teela does not return in time, Man-at-Arms and Adam become concerned. Suddenly, Man-at-Arms is abducted by the giant Spider-Man web store, leaving Adam alone. For more than a moment, Adam wants to revert back to his old selfish adolescent ways and run for his own life. In what could be a life-threatening move, he doubles back to find his allies, and perhaps prove he is good enough for Teela to Man-at-Arms. Finding Webstore's lair, Adam heroically cuts Man-at-Arms and Teela from a web trap, and they make a run for it. Reaching a dead end, they are ambushed by Webstore, who all appears lost when Buzz-Off heroically returns. Buzz-Off and Webstore have an amazing bee versus spider battle, and together the heroes escape. Fleeing through a spiraling tunnel, the group emerges in the valley below. Finally, fresh air. Man-at-Arms warns that it is not wise to go into the refreshing river. Teela is hesitant, but Adam is already cannonballed in. Before long, Teela and Adam are playfully splashing about, glad to finally scrub the tunnel stench off. Adam is royalty, after all. He can do what he wants. The disturbance in the water has reached Skeletor's minion Merman, and soon the group finds themselves under attack from a giant lobster creature emerging from the water. Can Merman be far behind? The group fights for their lives, but is overwhelmed by Merman's creature. Salvation comes as Stratos, Mechanic, and Ram Man attack from the hidden encampment we were heading towards. The united masters are finally together, just as Merman appears on the back of a giant whale monster. He has a message from Lord Skeletor. Randor and Marlena will die unless the prince comes to Snake Mountain alone. With that, Merman and his creature sinks back into the waters. Before Adam can speak up, Man-at-Arms forbids him to go. Adam is too important. Man-at-Arms knows something we don't. Besides, the group will physically need more power if they're going to go up against Skeletor. It is decided they will seek out Moss Man, an ancient Eternian warrior who knew King Grayskull and fought by his side. He will know their next move. In the mysterious tar swamps, our heroes fight off plant monsters and tar tentacles to reach Moss Man's temple. Once there, Moss Man recognizes Adam but declares the prince is immature and reckless and therefore not ready for his destiny. Moss Man refuses to help him. That is the last straw for Adam. He runs off. Teela tells the group, I've got this one. Teela easily tracks Adam down. He leaves a trail like a wild beast after all. Although there's still love in her eyes, Teela is upset and approaches Adam with a different demeanor than we have seen in the past. She spells out her frustration with Adam, concerned that all his friends and allies have lost faith in him due to his past attitude and behavior. If there was ever a time to grow up, it is today. It is evident that Adam is taken back by the forwardness of Teela's comments. In fact, this is the first time he's taking anyone or anything seriously. He excuses himself, needing a few minutes alone. Adam wanders off through the woods. He's muttering to himself under his breath about his responsibilities, his father, and Teela. Suddenly, a noise distracts him from his thoughts. He looks up to see a small green tiger with yellow stripes trying to escape from a tar tentacle. Seemingly without any help or hesitancy and at great risk to himself, Adam jumps into the tar swamp, heroically battling multiple tar tentacles that try and pull him and the tiger under. Finally, both Prince and Tiger emerge from the swamp with newfound admiration and a sense of approval. Moss Man observes Adam and knows the prince is ready to embark on his destiny. Moss Man reveals an ancient jewel passed down from King Grayskull's time. Slowly closing his eyes, Adam holds it carefully in his hands. The spirit of King Grayskull himself appears and informs Adam that the responsibility and protection, not only of his friends and family, but all of Eternia, are on his shoulders. As a half-Earth, half-Eternian, Adam is the destined He-Man, who can wield the Power Sword. He must protect Eternia in its time of greatest need. Adam awakens as if he's been reborn. Around a campfire, the Masters make their plans. Skeletor wants the power of Castle Grayskull to release the Horde. The Masters must get to it first. Moss Man reveals to the group that it is only Adam he can go to Castle Grayskull. He must do this alone. Man-at-Arms does not like the sound of that. The prince arrives at the castle on the back of his new pet tiger, Cringer. Standing before the ancient fortress, the drawbridge opens and Adam enters. Inside, the falcon, that we have seen following Adam throughout the film, transforms into the sorceress. It was she who sent Man-at-Arms to protect Adam in the sands of time and helped call the Masters together. Eternia is in grave danger from Skeletor. She tells Adam the secret history of Castle Grayskull. To protect the all-powerful cosmic star seed, King Grayskull built the great fortress and had a power sword forged which could magically tap into and harmonize with the star seed's power. Think an electric tool wirelessly charged by a battery. Intended as a weapon to protect the star seed, the sword could also be exploited in the hands of evil. Sensing this danger, a magic spell was placed on the sword. Only a half-Earthling, half-Eternian, possessing blood of both planets of power, will claim the Sword of Eternia in time of greatest need. The true He-Man will arise. That man is Adam. But the sorceress further warns Adam that the sword cannot make contact with the star seed itself.
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
Why?
It would be bad.
With this warning, she gives Adam the power sword and tells him it will endow him with great strength and power. But it is his own wisdom, courage, and compassion that will make him worthy of the name He-Man. Skeletor is after the star seed and must be stopped. Claiming the sword for his own, Adam walks out of the castle and stands on the mighty drawbridge. Outside, Adam makes his iconic transformation to He-Man with the words, "By the power of Grayskull," recreating the classic animated sequence in live action for the first time ever. Fanboys will love this. The tiger, Cringer, rescued in the tar swamp using the same power, has now transformed into the mighty Battle Cat. He-Man races on Battle Cat across Eternia to Snake Mountain on a personal mission to save his parents and stop Skeletor. Inside Snake Mountain, He-Man is led to the throne room. Skeletor agrees to bargain Randor and Marlena back for Adam, but in his ever-deceitful manner, Skeletor blasts them out of the snake mouth to their doom below. Luckily, He-Man was followed by Man-at-Arms, who saves the royal couple with a last-minute catch in his Wind Raider. Regardless, Skeletor's evil plan is revealed, and it is already too late. If Skeletor couldn't open the gates of Grayskull, he was just waiting for Adam to bring the power to him, and apparently is conveniently in the form of a sword. Skeletor incorrectly thinks the sword is the power source. Evelyn reveals that earlier it was she who disguised as Randor and banished Adam. He-Man Adam appears to be in total defeat. In reality, He-Man is in just the position he was gaming for. He manipulates Skeletor by boasting, "You think the sword is the power? The sword is only a tool to harness the power. The real power is still in Castle Grayskull, and you can't get to it." Skeletor grins like a Cheshire cat. He retorts, "But you can." Bound in magical glowing chains, He-Man is brought to Castle Grayskull and ordered to open the gates by Skeletor and his full crew of henchmen. He-Man declares he would rather die than give up the castle. Skeletor threatens the lives of all of Adam's friends and loved ones, especially Teela. "You think the Masters are coming to rescue you? I've already started hunting them down. They will all suffer and perish if Adam does not comply." Dropping his head, He-Man opens the gate. Could all be lost? Now the trap is sprung. The castle's drawbridge lowers, revealing the entire group of heroic Masters of the Universe. Man-at-Arms, Randor, Marlena, Teela, Stratos, Ram-Man, Mechaneck, and Buzz-Off. You want Castle Grayskull? You'll need to go through us first. The Masters and the Evil Warriors clash in an epic battle. Trapjaw versus Buzz-Off, Teela versus Triclops, Mechaneck versus Evelyn, Stratos versus Beastman. It is on. Teela saves her father from an attack by Beastman, earning his respect and pride. Both are then immediately saved by He-Man, who catches a giant boulder that neither saw coming. Adam has really grown up and is taking charge of the battle. During the melee, Skeletor makes a break and heads into the castle. Man-at-Arms and the other heroes keep the evil warriors at bay while He-Man alone pursues Skeletor. Inside the Forbidden Castle, Skeletor finds the glowing starseed, the power he has always wanted. "And I'll always be here to stop you," He-Man retorts. The two warriors engage in an epic duel in the throne room. Skeletor freezes the sorceress in a time spell and battles He-Man sword to staff. After much weapon clashing, Skeletor explains that he has no choice but to try and free the Horde. He slowly moves around the room, revealing to He-Man that his transformation into Skeletor involved some type of dark deal that went horribly wrong. But Skeletor does not finish his story. It is too late. This was just a ruse to get close enough to grab the starseed. He-Man lunges in vain. Skeletor picks up the starseed and is overwhelmed by the raw power. He absorbs its energy and blasts He-Man back into Prince Adam again. "Power! Complete power!" he boasts. Skeletor illuminates with energy. He thinks he has the upper hand, but it is too late. Adam remembers the sorceress's words, that the power of He-Man also comes from him, from his own strength and his own wisdom. And even as Prince Adam, he has those abilities. He also remembers the warning about never touching the sword to the starseed. In a heroic move of self-sacrifice, Adam drives the power sword into the starseed, overpowering it and absorbing all of its raw energy. A moment sort of like this.
Oh, fathers, give me strength.
You understand, boy? You're about to take the full force of a star. It'll kill you.
Only if I die?
Yes. That's what killing you means.
The starseed pulses with energy. It is completely overloaded and is draining both He-Man and Skeletor. But With his own power of wisdom, strength, and knowledge, Adam is able to overcome the overloading star seed and channels the power back into it. Skeletor, grasping the orb of power, is overwhelmed. Giant energy tentacles shoot out in every direction from the starseed, wrapping themselves around Skeletor's body and pulling him into the starseed itself. Is this the end of Skeletor? Only time will tell, but Adam watches as the skull-faced villain is sucked into the orb of power, hopefully to never be seen again. Without their leader, the remaining evil warriors are captured, and a few make a break for it. Evelyn escapes on a road ripper into the local forest. The reunited Masters of the Universe and the Sorceress gather before the castle, swearing to now stay united to defend Eternia from any evil. Randor and Marlene are proud of the leader their son has become. He is truly the He-Man of legend, an heir to the power of Grayskull. Man-at-Arms approves with a nod, letting He-Man and Teela share a kiss right as we fade out. As the credits roll and we enjoy the last bite of popcorn, of course we all stay seated for that amazing end credit scene. And here it is. Man-at-Arms approaches the sorceress, who turns around to face her old friend and ally. He asks her with a look deep into her eyes, "Is it time to tell Adam about his sister?" And with that, my 8-page story treatment comes to an end. As I noted, I also wrote the actual first 30 pages of the script in full script form, and made a few notes at the bottom that this was going to set up a whole franchise where the second film would see the return of King Hiss and the Snake Men, and feature the Masters on Eternia with some new allies facing off against King Hiss. This would be followed by a spin-off movie of She-Ra on Etheria, where we would learn about her being raised by Hordak and eventually rebelling. And then finally, the third Masters of the Universe film would be the climactic ending where the Horde managed to come back to Eternia, bring back Skeletor, of course, from his imprisonment in the Starseed, and a giant climactic universe-threatening battle. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like me to read the first 30 pages and treat it the way I did the treatment, I'm happy to do that. It reads much more like a script and less like an explanation for movie executives, since I wrote it out word for word and character by character in script format. This was definitely a labor of love. It was just done as love of the brand and how I would see the MOTU movie coming out. If you like this, do share. And hey, Sony Pictures executives out there, if you're still working on a MOTU live-action movie and would like some help, some consulting, some story ideas, hit me up on spectorcreative.com. It's what I love doing, and I'd love to be a resource for you. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and if you like this video, please feel free to share it with others. It's the best way to tell YouTube to keep sharing it. It's kind of how their algorithm works. I hope you liked it. Let me know in your comments. I always comment every comment back, so I'll see you in the comment section, and back here at Spector Creative next time. Thanks for watching.